Choosing a daycare provider can be extremely nerve-wracking. You want to make sure you pick the right provider for your little one. But how do you decide? Today, I'm going to share with you 11 questions to ask providers to help make sure you make an informed decision. I'm going to break this up into two sections. The first one I'm calling administrative questions, and the second section will be more geared towards the daycare provider's approach to watching your little one. All right, let's get started with the practical questions. Question 1, and I should mention these are in no particular order of importance, but question 1 is, when do you have space available for my child? Right now, the US is in the midst of a massive childcare worker shortage. This means that a lot of daycare facilities just don't have the necessary staff to take on as many children as they used to. Before touring or falling in love with a particular provider, it is key to understand when and if they will have the ability to take on your little one. Question 2 is, what are your operating hours? Even if you work a standard 9-to-5 job, it is important to know how early you can drop your child off and how late they remain open for you to pick your child up. My wife and I have found ourselves in situations where we both need to start work early, and we were glad we had the flexibility to drop our daughter off earlier than normal in the morning. Keep in mind that some centers will charge extra fees if you drop your child off early or pick them up late, so it is key to know this information upfront before making your decision. Question 3 is, what does it cost to enroll your child at the facility? Obviously, it is important to understand if your family can afford care from a particular facility. Costs vary widely depending on location in the United States, but they even vary widely within the same city. Where I live in Wisconsin, traveling a few miles further from my home can be the difference between paying $1,000 a month and paying $1,200 a month. If cost is a big factor for you in choosing a provider, doing a little research and looking around can save you a lot of money each year while still providing high quality care for your child. Question 4 is, do you offer part-time or flexible arrangements? While this is becoming increasingly rare given the childcare worker shortage, some providers do still provide flexible and part-time care arrangements. This is incredibly helpful for parents who may work part-time or for stay-at-home parents who simply want the option of taking their child to a daycare a few days a week while they run errands or do housework. Additionally, some providers will give you vacation days where you can pull your child from care to go on a family trip, for example, and not have to pay daycare expenses while you are away. If the provider offers it, this can be a great perk that can save you a lot of money. Question 5 is, how do you communicate with parents? This will help you understand how often you can expect to hear from your provider and what information they will give you about how each day went for your child. My daughter's daycare, for example, has an app that gives us a daily update on when she uses the bathroom, how much and what she ate each day, as well as a quick report on what the classroom did that day for activities and learnings. As a parent, I really like that level of insight into each day. Additionally, it is important to know what will happen if there's an incident at daycare where your child is injured, say from falling and scraping a knee. My daughter's daycare gives us an incident form each time there is a noticeable injury while in their care, describing what happened, what they did to treat the issue, so on and so forth. The more upfront the provider is with all of this information, the better. Question 6 is, what cleaning standards do you follow? Cleanliness of a provider is obviously very important. This is especially important if you have an infant or 1-year-old who is constantly putting every object they encounter in their mouth. It is fairly typical for a good provider to wash all the toys weekly and the surfaces of the room daily. Question 7 is, what is the sick policy? Now, most providers will have a very specific policy. For example, my daughter's daycare has a 48-hour policy. That means that if Parker is sent home for a fever or other illness, she has to stay home for 48 hours after her symptoms go away. The center also provides a detailed document that describes the policy for things like rashes, pink eye, and all the other illnesses that hamper our children. Knowing the sick policy is super important since it is inevitable that your child will become sick at some point, and providing care for your child while they are unable to attend daycare can be challenging with work schedules. Having a backup plan to account for these situations is going to be vital. Question 8 is, what is the staff to child ratio? State laws provide a maximum number of students per one teacher in a classroom. However, some providers will be below that number. The lower the ratio, the more one-on-one time your child can expect to receive. While this is an important metric to understand, it is important to keep in mind that the quality of the person looking after your little one is far more important than the child to teacher ratio. All right, so now that we have some of the more basic and administrative information about a provider, we can dig a little deeper into their approach to caring for children. Question 9 is, what is the curriculum? Most providers will have some sort of theme or curriculum that they follow and rotate through on a monthly or weekly basis. For example, they could do colors and shapes as a curriculum for a month where they explore the shapes and colors in the world around them. The next month, they could focus on flowers and gardens. You get the idea. This will give you an idea of the things you can expect your little one to be learning about while they are at daycare each and every day. Question 10 is, what discipline techniques do you use? Now, this is always a very touchy subject for parents, and understandably so. With this question, it is important to ask as many follow-up questions as you need to feel comfortable with the provider and that their philosophy fits with your family values and discipline approach. Definitely trust your gut on this one. Question 11 is, what do the children eat each day? This question is helpful for a couple of reasons. First, it's going to tell you if you need to pack food for your child each morning or if it will be provided to your child by the daycare. Second, if the daycare will be providing the food for your child, it allows you to understand, what kinds of foods will be provided for your child. If you have any dietary restrictions or your household doesn't allow certain foods to be consumed, this is a great opportunity to follow up on those and ensure that the provider aligns to those things. All right, so that was my 11 questions to ask daycare providers to help you get the information you need to make a well-informed decision about who will be caring for your little one. I hope these help you make a good, informed choice. With all of these, it is important to trust your gut and ask as many follow-up questions as you need to feel comfortable. Any provider who is rushing you through the process or making you feel guilty for asking follow-up questions is not the provider you want for your child. If you found this video helpful, consider subscribing to my channel and liking this video for more content like this for young families.